Hello everyone. Let's see if the sound is working or not. Okay, so today in the morning, sound is working. So in the morning, we did some portion of economy. Now the rest of the topics left is going to be covered right now in this session. This is the last session for current affairs July magazine of Vision, and we'll complete everything that's left now. Without doing much ado, let's start. Okay, so we did up till FPI, Mines and Minerals Development. We did up till then. And now we'll do Manrega. So let's complete it. It's going to be a long session, so buckle up. Keep a bottle of water with you. Get your magazines ready. And there's going to be a pause for 1 minute and then we'll start. I hope you all have gathered your essentials. We are going to sit here for more than 3 hours at a stretch. We'll be taking We are going to sit here for more than 3 hours. We'll be taking little breaks in between, but the goal is to complete the Vision magazine and then we'll move on to the August magazine from the next session. We have been doing very little, but today we are going to complete it in whatever time it takes, be it 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours. We'll do it. We'll use the Pomodoro technique in which we'll be studying for 50 minutes and taking a break for 10 minutes. I hope you're going to be with me and complete anything you have left right now. So let's do it. Okay. 1 minute is going to be over very soon. So be ready with your magazine. Be ready with your water. And if you want to go to the washroom right now, you can go. Okay, let's start. Okay. Manrega. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005, Manrega. Parliamentary Standing Committee on Rural Development and Panchayati Raj tabled a report highlighting the issues and providing recommendations for Manrega. Manrega Quick Facts. It's a centrally sponsored scheme, Ministry of Rural Development. Purpose: making supplementary livelihood in rural areas through unskilled manual work a legal right. It's a legal right. Beneficiaries: all household members aged more than 18 years are residing in rural areas. Done through door-to-door survey. Implementation, prioritization of work, and social audit has to be done by the Gram Sabha. Now, what are the key issues with Manrega? Inadequate allocation of payment delays, reduced budgetary allocation, 34% less budgetary allocation in 21-22. Delayed payment of wages due to infrastructural bottlenecks, unavailability of funds, and lack of administrative compliance. No compensation. No compensation for delayed payment of wages due to undercalculation of delays at different payment stages. In 2021, central government notified a circular asking states to send three different fund transfer orders (FTOs) corresponding to SC, ST and other categories. Now, institutional. Poor capabilities of PRIs, Panchayati Raj institutions. Inadequate administrative and technical resources with PRIs, particularly at Gram Panchayat level, adversely affect the planning, approval, monitoring, and social audit of the scheme. Blurred accountability. As financing agency, center, and implementing agencies, state and local governments are different. Non-appointment of ombudsperson. According to the Standing Committee report, out of 715 possible appointments, only 263 ombudspersons have been appointed. Systematic issue. Issues with wage anchor, CPIAL. Types of work done by agricultural laborers and Manrega workers are different, suggesting minimum wages should be decided as per CPI rural laborer. Fabrication of job cards and associated corruption. Digital divide adversely affect the implementation of digital attendance, Aadhaar payment bridge system, etc. Issues specific to women, non-availability of children facilities and other basic amenities such as safe drinking water, access to sanitation services, etc. Low awareness about the process and entitlements under the scheme. Now, what are the recent reforms undertaken by the government? Digitization, digital attendance. Attendance of workers through National Mobile Monitoring System (NMMS) app under Manregas have been mandated for all workers except individual beneficiary schemes or projects. GIS based planning. Yuktadhara portal. Yuktadhara portal. Holistic planning of Gram Panchayats based on watershed development principles using Geographical Information System (GIS). Secure. An online application developed for estimating, preparing, and approving Manrega works. Geo Manrega. To geotag assets created under Manrega to ensure effective audit and curb instances of corruption. Other digitization efforts like direct benefit transfer, management information system, and ombudsman app for smooth reporting and characterization of grievances. Then convergence with other schemes. Cluster facilitation projects (CFP) have been rolled out in 300 blocks of the country, converging Manrega's and National Rural Livelihood Mission for improved overall effectiveness. Social audit. The system of SA is being strengthened in association with Comptroller and Auditor General to provide auditing standards. Constitution of Amarjeet Sinha Committee. Amarjeet Sinha Committee. Amarjeet Sinha Committee to recommend structural and other reforms required in Rural Job Guarantee Scheme under Manrega. Under Manrega. Then other initiatives. Project Unnati intends to upgrade the skill base of Manrega workers, increase in the number of days of guaranteed work for drought calamity affected notified rural areas and tribal households in forest area. Now, recommendations of way forward: revision of wage anchor. CPI rural may be considered the appropriate index for protecting wages against inflation. Mahendra Dev Committee. Then, also simplification of the payment process to ensure transparency in wage payments at every stage. Capacity building. Strengthen the administrative and technical capabilities of PRIs by identifying, mobilizing, and empowering institutions that can be training institutions for Manrega. CAG should establish a mechanism in consultation with other stakeholders to handhold Gram Sabhas to ensure regular social audits of all projects under Manrega. Government should frame effective information, education, and communication policy as beneficiaries should be aware of their rights under a demand-driven scheme. Women empowerment. Government should issue modalities and guidelines like the nature of work to be taken up, facilities at the worksite, etc. for women empowerment under the Act. Governance reforms. Provide an institutional mechanism for convergence of Manrega with other schemes such as National Afforestation Mission, Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, Roadside, Tree Plantation, etc. It can help address the issue of inadequate budgetary allocations and ensure effective implementation and monitoring. Establish a management support system at national and state levels to provide for a central evaluation and monitoring system. Impact assessment of the reforms like geotagging of assets, digital attendance, etc., to identify issues and take corrective measures. Okay. Now we'll do Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana (PMGSY). Recently, Parliamentary Standing Committee on Rural Development and Panchayati Raj released its report on Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. According to the report, 96.24% under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 1 and 97.01% under PMGSY 2 of the target fixed have been achieved. Okay, they have been achieved. About Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Ministry of Rural Development launched the Ministry Ministry of Rural Development. It is a centrally sponsored scheme, CSS, road connectivity project for left-wing extremism affected areas, RCP LWEA. This is very important. Road connectivity project for left-wing extremism affected area. Launched as a vertical under PMGSY in 2016 to improve connectivity in 44 LWE affected districts in 9 states. Online management, monitoring and accounting system is a mechanism for monitoring the PMGSY. National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, NRIDA. Rida. National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency. Works are executed by the state and monitored by Ministry of Rural Development through NRIDA. Phases क्या है? Launch 2000 में हुआ था to enhance road connectivity. फिर PMGSY 2 2013 में हुआ था. Upgradation through selection through routes in major rural links. फिर 3 2019 में हुआ for consolidation of ones, tens, hundred, thousand, 10,000. 1,25,000 kilometer existing rural railroad network by upgradation of existing through routes in major rural links that connect habitations to Grameen agricultural markets, higher secondary schools and hospitals. Issues in implementing PMGSY. Funds remain unspent. According to Standing Committee report, the unspent balance as on January 2023 stands at around 6,800 crores. Issues of land acquisition. 372 projects were abandoned due to non-availability of land or land disputes after incurring an expenditure of 280 crores. Poor implementation of projects. Some projects were completed without required bridges or cross drainage structures, also making the roads non-usable for all-weather connectivity. Also, under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana Phase 3, the sanctioning of the entire targeted length of the road to the states has not been completed so far. Fund diversion. According to CAG report, funds for road construction in multiple states were diverted towards maintenance and administrative expenditures, salaries and wages, etc. Quality control, monitoring and evaluation. Irregularities such as non-establishment of field laboratories, non-availability of equipment, and non-deployment of trainer manpower. The committee opened that PMGSY roads do not take into action flying of heavy plan of heavy tonnage vehicles, which nowadays cause immense damage to the rural connectivity roads. Now, IT audit of OMMAS. Data is not updated on OMAS regularly, which has led to management information system reports being inadequate, inaccurate, and unreliable. Going forward, staff training and transfer. Staff responsible for updating data on accounting systems should be trained in various modules of the system in a time-bound manner. State needs to be updated on OMAS. Regular updation should about the physical and financial progress of the scheme on the OMAS is needed. Implementing agencies. A adequate number of implementing agencies should be established in states that are lagging stakeholder consultations. Issues such as contracting capacity, availability of raw materials, and getting relevant clearances should be addressed on a priority basis with stakeholder consultations for the timely progress of the scheme. Quality control system. Ministry of Rural Development should review the quality control system should review the quality control system to address deficiencies in the implementation of PMGSY. The committee opined that there is need of increasing the thickness of PMGSY road from the existing 20 millimeter to 30 millimeter. Recommended stopping fund diversion. Need to ensure that funds released for a specific purpose are not diverted. Completing land digitalization programs. Schemes like Swamvita can help create rural land pool. This can effectively reduce delay due to land acquisition. Now that is done. Now NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. The Union Home Minister recently stated that National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development NABARD has worked as a backbone for India's rural economy. Backbone of India's rural economy. NABARD aims to build an empowered and financially inclusive rural India through specific goal-oriented initiatives to promote integrated rural development. For this, the following efforts have been made by NABARD. Promotion and development. Around 5 lakh crore has been sanctioned under the country's Rural Infrastructure Development Fund (RIDF) created in NABARD. RIDF. Watershed Development Fund and Tribal Development Fund. The Wadi model. Let's write it. Watershed Development. Hmm. So where were we? We were doing the bar. We saw that there is water development fund and tribal watershed development fund and tribal development fund in NABARD. Then there is the Wadi model has become a vital livelihood intervention for tribal population. There is a Wadi model. Refinancing. In the last 42 years, the BARD has refinanced 20 lakh crore in the rural economy. Refinancing is taking a newer loan to pay off existing debt. Now, strengthening rural financial institutions (RFIs). About 8 lakh crore has gone to the 8 lakh crore has gone to the rural economy through NABARD for capital formation. NABARD supervises rural cooperative banks and regional rural banks. NABARD supervises rural cooperative banks and regional rural banks. Apart from NABARD, various agencies including commercial banks, RRBs, cooperative small finance banks, NBFCs, microfinancial institutions, and indigenous bankers together form India's rural credit delivery system. Now, about NABARD, its genesis, it came into existence on the recommendation of B. Sivaram Committee, B. Sivaraman Committee in 1982 by the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development NABARD Act 1981. 1981 के एक्ट से बनाया ये transferring agriculture credit functions of RBI and refinancing functions of the then Agriculture Refinance Development Corporation ARDC, administered by Ministry of Finance, wholly owned by Government of India. Development Bank of the nation and for fostering rural prosperity, promotes sustainable and equitable agriculture and rural development through participative financial and non-financial interventions, non-credit related functions and credit related functions. Supporting the financial inclusion efforts of regional rural banks and cooperative banks, thrust on the promotion of livelihood opportunities in micro enterprises, support research and development, rural innovations, etc. Credit related functions, providing refinance to lending institutions in rural areas, facilitating credit flow for promotion and development of agriculture, small scale industries, cottage and village industries, handicrafts, and other rural crafts. Loans to cooperatives, farmer producers organizations, primary agricultural credit societies, or similar institutions. Now, issues: regional imbalance in credit dispensation. Regional imbalance in credit dispensation. In 2020-21, the southern region has largest share, followed by northern region, but the eastern region hardly accounts for agricultural credit dispersed. This is a huge deal. Share of credit: southern states have 45.9 percentage, then northern states have 17.1 percentage, whereas eastern states have only 9.5 percentage. Very minimal. Disparity based on land holding. Medium and large scale farmers, who are just 14% of the total farmers, get 48% of the agricultural credit. The primary reason behind the low credit disbursement of those small and marginal farmers is the decrease in the share of RRBs and cooperatives in total credit disbursement. Agricultural tenants have limited inclusion in the agricultural credit system despite holding a significant proportion in the farm space. Gender disparity in credit distribution. As per World Bank Findex data, only 5% of Indian women have access to bank credit. According to World Bank Findex, only 5% of Indian women accessed bank credit. Bureaucratic hurdles and red tapeism. Credit institutions generally adopt cumbersome rules and formalities for advancing loans to farmers, which indirectly forces the farmers to depend more on costly non-institutional sources of credit. Now, initiatives to increase credit penetration in rural areas. Lead bank scheme, provision of priority sector lending, self-help group bank linkage program, Kisan Credit Card Scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Now, way forward. Land lease markets. State governments should be encouraged to perform the legal framework based on the Model Land Leasing Act proposed by Niti Aayog to improve formal lending to tenant farmers. The computerization of land records can help provide information and further aid in streamlining such a market. Then addressing regional disparity. Allocation of RIDF in central, eastern, and northeastern states may be increased over time to strengthen the rural infrastructure in these regions. Then credit guarantee. A credit guarantee scheme on the lines of Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for micro and small enterprises can be created to provide collateral-free loans to tenant farmers. Overall rural development, infrastructure creation, leveraging digital technology for internet, mobile banking, digital payment system, etc. also impact the efficacy and penetration of the overall credit system. Now, livestock sector. Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairy, DAD, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying has launched the first ever credit guarantee scheme for the livestock sector. First ever credit guarantee scheme. Data bank. 4.11% contribution in the country's GDP, 25.6% share of total agricultural GDP, 8.8% of population in India draws employment from this sector, first in global milk production, contributing around 24% of global share. 51% increase was registered in milk production in India during 2014 to 2021. More in news, it aims to strengthen credit delivery system and facilitate smooth flow of credit to the MSMEs engaged in the livestock sector. It will be under Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund, under Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. Dhar has established a credit guarantee fund trust of 750 crores, which will provide credit guarantee coverage of up to 25% of the credit facilities extended to the MSMEs. Significance of the livestock sector. Food and nutrition security through food items like milk, meat, eggs, etc. Subsidiary income to the rural households and security to the landless. Employment generation in the labor intensive sectors like textile, leather, etc. Gender equity and women empowerment in the primary sector. For example, women represent close to 70% of the workforce in India's dairy sector. Organic integrated farming provides organic manures for farming, biological weed control, etc. Issues with India's livestock sector. Low productivity. The average annual milk yield of Indian cattle is 1,172 kg, which is only about 50% of the global average. Shortage of feed and fodder. India has 2.3% of the total land area of the world to maintain nearly 10.7% of the global livestock. Animal health, increased susceptibility of livestock to various diseases, including exotic diseases due to poor implementation of cross-breeding programs, inadequate coverage of vaccination, etc. Knowledge gap. Absence of adequate extension machinery like agri credit awareness, etc., to absorb latest technology by small and marginal farmers. Suboptimal state support. Livestock sector receives only 12% of the public expenditure on agriculture and allied sector against 25.6 contribution of livestock of the total agro GDP. So livestock 25.6% of agro GDP, but 12% of public expenditure on agri and allied sector. Now, marketing, processing, and value addition. Absence of necessary infrastructure like dairy processing units, meat processing plants, carcass utilization centers, etc. Then MSMEs in the livestock sector face issues like inadequate access to finances, lack of business expertise, and poor integration in supply chains, resulting in limited scalability prospects. Livestock and environment. Climate change and global warming may have serious implications in the form of heat stress, loss of animal habitat in coastal areas, and changes in epidemiological patterns of vector-borne diseases. Key government initiatives for livestock sector. National Livestock Mission to promote entrepreneurship development and breed improvement in poultry, sheep, goat, piggery, including feed and fodder development. Rashtriya Gokul Mission for the development and conservation of indigenous bovine breeds, livestock health and disease control to improve animal health through prophylactic vaccination, disease surveillance, and strengthening of veterinary infrastructure. Supporting dairy cooperatives and farmer producer organizations to provide working capital to state cooperatives and federations. Now, other government initiatives: National Program for Dairy Development, Livestock Census and Integrated Sample Survey, National Animal Disease Control Program, and Livestock Census and Integrated Sample Survey. Way forward: improve animal health. This can be done by providing mobile veterinary dispensaries for vaccination, strengthening surveillance by diagnosis and forecasting, developing an inventory of traditional medicinal practices for animal health, and adopting One Health approach. Then reorientation of breeding policy, selective breeding of indigenous cattle, and formation of breed associations by farmers for involving farmers for improvement of indigenous breeds, among others. Develop forward linkages for sectors like wool, fiber, meat, and milk through cold storage infrastructure, food processing industries, textile industries, etc. Various strategies like public-private partnership can be adopted for the same. Quality control and food safety, standardization of the process of production, certification of organic farming, production of organic livestock foods, etc. Then institutional strengthening, promotion of cooperatives, farmer producer organizations, and self help groups to provide economies of scale and strengthen the ground level social infrastructure and services.